there, folks. It's Zach Elliott at Feel Free to Argue, and I just typed up a little something for the holiday. Welcome to America's birthday party, a time to celebrate our nation and what it has become. But what is that, exactly? Would the people who launched this country recognize what we've turned into? Aside from Ben Franklin, who seemed to know it would end poorly, maybe because he understood people and their limitations better than the other, more ideological framers. Jefferson was the revolutionary of the group. He said that we'd have to throw out our government and start over every once in a while. Now is probably the time for that, but we have no Jeffersons among us, and if we did, they would most likely be in isolation in a supermax for endangering the state. The fact is, a little over 200 years into our experiment in democracy, we are in literally undreamt of territory. Our government has turned into a massive behemoth that seems incapable of hearing the cries of the oppressed, a beast responsive only to big piles of cash. Pay to play is the rule of the day. You get the laws and justice you pay for, i.e. deserve. We live in a world fraught with real disasters and calamities, but it is more often imaginary boogeymen that we pursue. This is because we cannot admit we are, in point of fact, responsible for a lot of the world's problems. Why do they hate us? Little research could answer that question, but it's not research most people will do. Better to ascribe inscrutable evil to our enemies rather than admit any culpability on our part. Turn on your TV. It will tell you that you are still the best, the smartest, the most benign and wonderful people on the planet. It says that because it knows that's what you want to hear. And if they tell you the truth, that you'll just change the channel, and then you wouldn't see that Pop-Tart commercial, which is the real goal more than filling your head with useful knowledge so that you can be an informed and responsible citizen. So what do we do in this land that I love? We torture. We allow children to go without health care. We discriminate. We attack other sovereign nations for no reason. We worship the rich. We use debt to impose indentured servitude on other nations. We assassinate without due process. We ignore international law. We trash the environment. We detain people indefinitely without charge. This is not the dream I remember, and maybe it always was just a dream. But it seems that we no longer care about any of our core values as a nation, except as talking points to salute on command. Love it or leave it! My mother, drunk or sober, as Winston Churchill might have put it. Who talks of the responsibilities of citizenship, besides politicians who are waxing eloquent? Because it is a real thing, an important thing. Far more important than these rights we always scream about. To me, the best Americans these days are un-American. The ones who care are critical. The ones who remember remind. We are an ignorant country, but there is a cure for ignorance. Actually, there are many cures for ignorance, but the better sort involve learning your way out of it rather than being schooled by others. 9/11 was a perfect example, actually. It could have been a cure for ignorance, but instead it ended up being a stepping stone to advanced bullshit. Our leaders took us for a ride because they know we love our rose-colored glasses more than anything else. Telling us to shop after 9/11 was like telling a kid who just murdered the neighbor's cat that he has to play video games. Nothing wrong with playing video games, but it's hardly the appropriate response. So, who are we now? And what is America? It's not what it was when we were all children. It's been changing. Will always change. The question is, who is in charge of that change now? What are we becoming? And what does that mean for the future, for our children? There's a real world outside the American dream. It's an unhappy world, and large sections of it don't like us, many for entirely valid reasons. We could do a lot to change these perceptions and the underlying realities which cause them, but we need to wake up first. Wake up from the dream of happiness and contentment, of honor and righteousness that we've been under. The world we wake up to may seem harsh at first. Cherished delusions are there for a reason, after all. But the main benefit is that we can then look at a world which makes sense, where we can understand why everyone does what they do. A world of history, of actions and reactions. But it all starts with us being honest about who we are, what we do, and why we do it. Like George Carlin said, it's called the American Dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Happy 4th of July, everyone. May we soon be deserving of a better government.